Hello, my name's Wynford Dore. This message is for two distinct groups of people. For those that have just come across the research I'm doing into skill development and want to know why is it there's been some critics of you hanging around for a while. And the second group is those who've known me from several years ago when I was doing all the work with thousands of children and adults with various types of learning difficulty. And in 2008, as far as they were concerned, I disappeared off the scene, and they want to know what have I been doing ever since. So there's two groups, and I'll tell you. Well, what happened in 2008 was that we'd got amazing research, amazing ways of transforming people without drugs, using exercise-based therapies that were taking away the symptoms. But something I'd not considered in my strategic thoughts, it became a huge threat to various organizations, various people's reputations, researchers and so on. And so they attacked. On any scientific basis? Absolutely not. Were they prepared to lie? Yes, several of them were, because they were threatened by the fact that we were getting great success in transforming lives. So what's happened since? Well, in 2008, the attacks were so great that new people who had not tried it became very wary about trying it. All those that had tried it, thrilled, excited, and many of them keep in touch to this day, and thank you for that. But for those that hadn't tried it, they became wary. It became impossible to keep all those clinics open. I was subsidizing all of them going around the world. I'd put many, many millions of pounds into this. Why? Why did I do it? Because I had a daughter that attempted suicide. She'd suffered very, very badly with learning difficulties. Amazing girl, wonderful teachers, but could not learn basic skills at that time. So I talked to researchers about what was going on in the brain, and they gave me all sorts of clues and insights and possibilities, and we applied it, and you know what? We found it worked beautifully and brilliantly, gave her hope, gave her skills, basic fundamental skills that changed her life. So we made that available through clinics around the world, and we changed many thousands of lives in that process. But when the critics came along, I could no longer subsidize those courses to the extent they needed. I couldn't keep the clinics opened. And so it broke my heart, but many of them had to close. Then some guys came along from London, and they said, we'll take over the clinics that you've got because we want to keep it going. And that was great gesture of them. I was so ill, I was so exhausted from having pursued my life purpose, because my pursuit of helping my daughter had become so important to me. I'd been a businessman for many years, I'd been very successful, so I'd got assets that I could put into this project to put something back, help Susie, help thousands of others, but it drained me. So I was so ill, I was so mentally and physically drained, I took 18 months off. Then one day I woke up and realized I don't really believe that all of these people that have been labelled with such negative things really should be left like that, because they've got huge potential. And we started working on an app. I didn't want clinics anymore. I wanted an app that was all about skill development, bringing out the potential of children with autism, or children that couldn't read or write or concentrate. They'd got skills hidden there. In fact, many of them were brighter than the average. So I realized that it was my job to come up with something that was all about skill development, that was very accessible, very affordable to all. So guess what? I put a few more million into that project this last few years, and enjoying it so much. We had our first world champion last year, and we've had countless stories of children along the way and adults whose lives have been transformed. So that's what I'm up to now. And we've got products now for the corporate world to help people perform far better in their work, be more confident, less stressed, and so on. We've got products, of course, for children, and we've got products for the elderly, and we've got products for athletes, all of them drug-free, things you can do at home, all online. And so that's an exciting phase. But something else has happened in my personal life, and that is at the end of last year I met my soulmate. Ninko Moditsen is her name, and when I met her, she's from Denmark, when I met her, I realized that her life story was so parallel to mine. She'd had a child with serious autism, And when he's a young boy, the authorities wanted to lock him up and said, look, just lock him up, put him away. And she said, I can't do that. And she toured the world looking for nutritionalists, looking for doctors who understood how to detox. And she came up with some programs. And guess what? She transformed her son's life. And since then, every year, she transforms the lives of thousands of women, not in a temporary way, but in a lasting way, creating enormous differences in their life. So I'd gone down the neurological route, touring the world looking for neuroscientists to help my daughter. She'd gone around the world looking for doctors, nutritionalists, and other detox experts. When we got together, we realized we'd got a joint life purpose. So one of the programs we've got now is putting the best of her research on all I've been working on together. And you know, the research carries on. Research from major universities is coming out all of the time, underpinning everything we've ever been saying. So it should be really embarrassing to those critics, because not only were they completely wrong about the science, they were also cruel to all those families who could have been helped this last few years. So I'm not going to let that happen again. What we've got is affordable and accessible to all. The research goes on. It's like a wonderful picture, and all of the research that comes out from universities around the world are pieces of that jigsaw. And it's very solid and it's very beautiful, and it gives great hope to all those out there. So if you've got any questions for me, whether you've only just come across my work or whether you've known me from the past, please put them beneath. I will try and get to them all, and I will be answering them honestly and fully as soon as I can get to them. Meanwhile, we're going to work very